Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at what the Cardano price is doing and also what Bitcoin is doing. You know, it was a good day for Cardano overall, even though we are now only 2% in the green range here in the last 24 hours. But Cardano did something significant today. It broke out of an symmetrical triangle, and we're going to take a look at that. Before we do that, we start with Bitcoin briefly, take a look at where Bitcoin is. And again, I'm still not convinced about this price increase here. It looks very shaky foundation here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I still think there could be another sell-off coming, but that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. And I base that basically on the foundation, the structure that we have here. It's not very typical for an uptrend, what we can see here. And also just based on, and I haven't got it on this chart. I might do another in-depth video on that if you want to, but based also on Elliott Wave method and the Fibonacci retracement and extension levels, there could still be an A, B, C correction here at play. But at the moment the price is going up, and after we went above the 53k, I think the way is sort of free for us to get into this range here, which is that major resistance range. I think that, you know, we have now the first major resistance level starting at 57k. So I expect some resistance here. I think there could be now further price increases until that level, but I expect some setbacks here. Now with crypto, as you know, you never know. We just marched through without any effort. It seems like we marched through 53k. I'm sure a lot of people expected resistance there. I expected resistance there. It's just sometimes with crypto, if the powers to be want a certain level to be broken, they just make it happen. And in this case, there was literally no resistance at this 53k level, which for me was quite a significant one. But, you know, we just marched through. And I think now, as I said, the way is free to get into this range here. And if we can get through that, then we could get it to 65k and make new all-time highs. But as I said, I expect some serious resistance there. We can also take a look here on the daily, on the RSI. We are in the overbought range, so that is why we are currently retracing a little bit here. Need to get more steam to move to the upside, and then we can take it from there. But I expect, you know, as I said, just some resistance up there. So let's take a look here on the ADX, which still shows us a long signal, which is good. And this actually looks quite good, because the last time that happened was down here, and since then, you know, we've really moved very nicely to the upside. When we then had another bearish cross, that was a short signal. You can see how the price dropped. We then made a long signal here. The ADX is actually quite a good indicator I found on the daily. Here it's called the ADX and DI. So these are the directional indicators as well, with the green and red lines, and these can be used as a buy and sell signal. So, you know, you can check that on your chart at home or wherever. But always use it together with other indicators and moving averages and so on, and looking at the price action, because only one indicator only indicates. It can never be, you know, never base your strategy purely on one indicator. They are only indicating. Now, what we can see, as I said, I expect some further price increases still, at least until we get into that range here, and we form something like a bull flag in my view here, a small one. And that bull flag takes us possibly then directly into that target range here, into that resistance range. What you can see here is that flagpole, the descending channel, which is the basically the flag which is forming currently. And what we can see is, let me just, typically they can retrace up to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. And where are we currently? We are here. So the 50%, the 0.5 is the 54,182. So we've already gone below that, but they could also retrace down to the 0.618, which is at 53.5k. So that's probably where we will land in my view. If we go below that, we would also go below the 53k, which I think we probably won't do at the moment. It's just my view, because we are in this short-term uptrend here at the moment. We're forming something like a bull flag here, making higher highs, higher lows. and we just see that retracement here because in the shorter term time frames we are just a little bit overbought, or quite significantly overbought, and we can see already the first green candle emerging. Let's take a look at what on the hourly we can see here. On the hourly we are still, as we were in the previous video when I did the previous update, we were still in the bullish range here, and we seem to be holding that, which is quite good. So here you can see that in a little bit more detail, that sort of channel here that we are forming. And what you can see is, yeah, that we're holding above the 50 line on the RSI, which is quite good because that means we are still in the bullish range. Looks like we have completed our sort of short-term consolidation here on the 1 hour chart. And from there on, we have now some more space to get to the upside, and that bull flag could play out and we could move in a next step into that range here. Yeah, so Cardano has done something quite significant today. Cardano has broken out of that, the symmetrical triangle trend continuation pattern. I anticipated it to break out to the upside because it is a trend continuation pattern. You can see that we are in an uptrend overall, yes, still, and that ascending trend line here started down here was for me the more significant one. And also, and I did show it, don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I showed you the Solana chart as well. And because Solana did something very similar structure, you know, that ascending trend line here, and then that triangle as well. Solana broke out, and now it's retracing again, but it broke out to the upside, very similar range where, or very similar, yeah, very close to the apex, similar to where Cardano was here. I think Cardano was a bit further in the apex, but it broke out as well. And to be fair, Solana did break out more with more volume and with a higher momentum, I would say, because Cardano only reached the 236 level that I mentioned in my video early this morning, you know, UK time. In my first video today, I mentioned the 236 level. So we bounced off that, didn't really get through that, and now we're below that 231, 232 level, which I also mentioned in my video this morning. However, we are still above that descending trend line, which is a good sign. And I'm gonna talk to you in a moment what we could do next. But yeah, Solana, so it was not only Solana doing this shape here. There were various cryptocurrencies doing that here at the moment. And if you can pick a few, then you can very likely estimate what is going to happen next with them as well. And I talked about a few on, you know, on this channel. I talked about, I think it was Terra Luna, it was Tezos, I think, did something very similar. Anyway, let's go back to Cardano. So what we have here, and that is very significant in my view, you could just see it on that Solana chart, that with that ascending trend line here as well. So I could just extend that now, and I think that will guide us going forward. Solana seems to be is a little bit ahead of Cardano on this chart, and what I would estimate could happen now, that maybe, you know, we might come down to that line here again. And if we continue to stay above that line, I'm not worried at all. You know, I'm not worried at all. That seems to be a healthy, something like 45 degree angle to go to the upside. And it seems like at the moment that we have formed the low down here. Yeah, so it seems like that. And however, what you can clearly see, we're not really making higher highs at the moment, which is also why I'm still a little bit skeptical about that price increase of Bitcoin and generally the current short-term uptrend. It doesn't look, you should really make those higher highs here. We can't really see them. Yes, you know, we made here, you know, just look at that structure. We made a higher high here, made a lower high, made another lower high, now made a higher high, but still lower than that one. So it is all a bit, yeah, it doesn't feel really like an uptrend. But, you know, as I said, as long as we stay above that level, it's all good. Seems to me a bit like that the market hasn't really decided yet in which direction we are going. Seems like the market doesn't want to fall further. Selling pressure isn't high enough. People want to hold on to their coins, but the buyers are still sort of not there. However, they are in Shiba Inu, but they're not in most of the other good crypto projects at the moment, including Cardano, even though admittedly Cardano is doing a little bit poorly compared to others. But honestly, the time will come, right? And yeah, we're currently trading below this 232. Did mention that 232 levels, so we need to get above that. Then we've got the 236 to face, and then we could make our way up here to the next significant one that you can see here, which is 246, 245, 246. You know, prices are just too dynamic to just, oftentimes it is a range, but yeah, I think here we could say it's a 245. You can hear had support here, you know, and if we go further back, there was a lot of resistance and support there as well. And then we've got after that here we've got the 256 level, so that's an important one. And then we've got here 265, 264, 265, and then we've got the 280, and I think the 280 is a very important one. So, and that's pretty much where we are at the moment. We just need to watch these levels. If we get above the 232, that is crucial, and we certainly don't want to fall. You know, if we lose that, you know, if we can't get above 232 and we stay in that range, what you certainly want to avoid is dropping below the 222 level again, 223, which is that descending trend line. If we drop below that, then we're again in this apex, and if we lose that, then we can, you know, when we're back in the apex, we could actually drop down to 213. That is the next target then. And if we lose that, well, then we're actually below that ascending trend line. And that is untypical. I haven't seen, there are probably cryptos who've broken below that, because a lot of them are currently doing the same or a very similar structure. I haven't seen many. But if that happens, I think that would be quite bearish for Cardano. I can see that only happening if there is really another sell-off for Bitcoin, as I potentially anticipate. And I know I'm not making many friends with that, but it's just because of that untypical price increase that we can see here in that structure here with these 99% retracements and this higher low, a higher high, this lower high, this higher high, this lower high, and then this strange structure here, which is really a bit untypical. But again, I could be wrong, and please always, you know, get your information from a lot of different sources. Don't just listen to one person and, you know, come to your own conclusions, please. All right, so hopefully you liked that update today. If you like the content, please hit the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.